Hi guys, so today we're talking about hollow tine aeration using manual hollow tine aerators. I have bought 4 hollow tine aerators here, which are the manual versions. We have 2 budget ones, the LawnRight and the JNJ Store. Both of these seem to be the best out of all the ones that are currently on the market that I have looked at. Then we have 2 premium aerators, which are manual aerators, but these are high-end and better quality, and I'm going to show you the reasons why these are more money than these. Now typically these are 30 to 40 pounds. That is why they are budget machines, tools, and these anywhere from 90 pounds to 140 pounds, possibly even more. Let me just start out by saying that years ago, before I had an aerator machine, I had 2 of these, and these are Kingfisher manual aerators. Now they've been at the side of my shed for years now. They've actually held up quite well, but they tend to get blocked up really easily, and they're very hard to use, so they're not really the best at what they're doing. A hollow tine aerator is a machine that will punch a hole in the ground and remove a core of soil, and that then relieves compaction in the ground. You push a hole in the ground and eventually the soil around it pushes and closes that hole. As long as there's moisture, that'll close within a few weeks, and that then loosens the surrounding soil. So I started off with these and thinking, great, I'm going to be able to do some lawns now. Even though it's manual, it's better than no machine. Now, like I say, these have been at the side of my house for about 10 years. And I used them once and I thought, never again. So, they went over there. Then, somebody was giving away one of these. And I thought, yes, get in. I can aerate people's lawns. And it's only going to take me seconds to do that. Yes, get in. And it's quite good fun, to be fair, and it is a very gentle aeration, but it's only going down about 1 inch, and it's a solid spike of metal, not a hollow tine, and not giving a hollow hole which will then close and loosen surrounding soil. So it gives some aeration. It does allow aerating nutrients to get down to the roots where it's needed. But ultimately you are pushing soil further down, which ultimately creates compaction issues at some point. So they're okay, but it's not ideal. Then we've got these. These are the 2 budget ones. I'm going to show you what you get with each of these. LawnRight. Found these on Amazon. I was looking for manual hollow tine aerator, and these came up with the best reviews, the highest 5-star rating, or 4.5, whatever it is, the best ratings. I thought, wow, I'm going to get one of them. And when I was about to order one, there was this guy on Facebook in one of the groups. He put a post on saying, I make these. I thought, right, okay. Seemed like a really nice guy. So I bought one. I actually bought one, and I've been really impressed with it. And as a result of that, because I've had it a year now or something like that, and it's worked really well. So suddenly his becomes my favourite budget manual aerator. Now what's good about these? The price. Obviously it's the price. 30 to 40 pounds. That is what you're going to pay for something like this. And it enables you to aerate the lawn. So you put it down, you go like that, and soil is ejected out the top. That's fine. But if these break, it's broke. That's it. It's game over. Isn't it? You can't fix them because they're broke. So you'd have to get rid and get a new one. Chances are, if you take your time and you're careful, you'll be absolutely fine. As with any tool, they will go blunt after a period of time. So if you get your angle grinder onto the bottom edge there and just grind that edge, you'll regain the sharpness. And then as long as you are careful, these will last you a long time. So this is the Walensee one. It's got quite narrow holes, but it still does it pretty good. Then we have the JNJ Store manual aerator. The guy that developed these is called John Galley. He's a really nice guy. I've spoke to him a few times now, and he's developed these ones. And again, it's one solid construction, which means it's nice and strong. And we've got the padded handlebars there, so that's for comfort, as is the case with the Walensee. But again, if it breaks, you've lost out. You have lost out. But out of all the ones I've looked at, these are the only two that seem to work really well. Now, with any of these, if you leave soil inside at the end of the day, that's going to dry out and go hard, and then it is blocked. And what that means is that when you're pushing new soil in, it's not going up. So the core of soil is not being ejected from the ground. So it's really important you clean these out at the end of every day. And it is as simple as just getting your screwdriver and giving it a good old poke. All right? See, that's been in there a couple of days. And that's gone quite hard. I think there's a bit of a stone in there as well. But you can see how dry and powdery that is. So this is why you've got to clean them at the end of the day. Okay. So it was much easier this way, going in through the top. And what you should do, you should just get your hose pipe when you can and just squirt a bit of water down there to clean it, and use a rag just to dry it out, and then it is ready and primed for the next time. If you start having problems from time to time, just squirt a bit of WD-40 down the inside, wipe off any excess, and then once in a blue moon, if it's getting a bit blunt, just get your angle grinder on these ends to resharpen them. As long as you take care, these will last you a long time. For the money, you cannot go wrong. You really cannot go wrong. I will leave links to both of these, as well as the others, in the pinned comment and the description for you to check out. But this guy, he gives great customer service, is available on Facebook, and he's got a website as well. So, this should now aerate better. You can see, you see the new one coming up now? Yeah? It's working perfectly fine on that side. And now it's working on both sides. You see? Aerated. Holotine core aerated. Now let's look at these. These expensive ones. £90. Just under £90. £140, give or take. Why would you spend more on those than these? Well, it's single construction, welded, high quality, but the difference, this is what you're getting, this is the difference. These are the tines, these are hollow tines. It's hollow because you can push your finger up, although I wouldn't recommend it. And the soil that you've just pushed in pushes the last soil up, and it hits this green part and is ejected out. So no soil is getting trapped inside the tines. That is why this cutout is very useful. The other benefit, if you turn it over, we've got a cross-headed screw there and there. You can swap them over. You can buy a set of 3 for around £20, I think, for this one. But yeah, So if you didn't want to sharpen them up, you can just swap them over for a new set. But they're going to last you a long time. But it's really easy with an angle grinder. Now then, this one is called Swordman. Now this has been used extensively in America, and it's recently come over to the UK. It's available in a few places, and it has really, really high quality reviews from the people that's used it. Now it has got some weight behind it. It's a little bit heavier than the others. I'm not talking like a bag of sugar and a bag of potatoes, but it is solid. It is really well made. The downside to this one is there's no padding on the handles, but that's not so much of a deal breaker. Now for the positive. Stainless steel, and the tines on the other one are stainless steel, by the way, on the Lanzy. This one has an Allen key, so you can swap the tines over. Now the tips on this one are easier to sharpen because, and it's a flat bottom design, so as long as they're sharp, you just go around with an angle grinder if it needs sharpening, and you're done. Or you can just swap them over. Again, you have the hollow section here, the cores come up and are ejected out. So these two higher end ones mean that you only ever really need to replace these, and this will probably last you a lifetime with all due care and attention. That is the difference. You're only paying for the tines. And in all honesty, a set of tines is going to last you a long time. We're not talking replacing every single year. Depending on how much you're doing. If you're just doing your own lawn, it's probably going to last you a few years before you even need to think about replacing the tines. With this one, you can optionally buy some solid tines, which is a really deep spike, and they just screw onto there, and they're available at an extra cost. And you can buy, for this Lanzy, the green one, you can buy some more replacement hollow tines, as well as the hollow tines for this. So, now you know what they are. I want to talk to you another reason why. Well, I'm going to show you a few things here. I'm going to show you why they make more sense, the expensive ones, and you'll soon see why. But there are also compelling arguments for these ones. So ultimately, it just comes down to a personal decision of yours. Which one makes the most sense for you right now? If that's not in your budget, maybe it will be next year. If you're just interested in a low-cost budget one, it could last you a few years. But if it breaks, then you've got an issue. So, speed. How fast are they? How much can you do? And how fast can you get through your lawn? Because nobody wants to be on the lawn for 4 hours if they can do the same thing in 2 hours or 3 hours. Well, these have only got 2 tines on each one. 1, 2. And they're about 7 inches apart. These two have got 3 tines, and the tines are about 2 or 3 inches apart. Now, every machine I've ever had, and all the machines that are used on golf courses, the tines are generally around 2 to 3 inches apart. So, my career has been brought up using tools and machines that aerate approximately every 2 to 3 inches. So I feel that that is the standard of what it should be. So, with these, when you punch a hole in the ground, you've got a hole there and a hole there, but you've got a 7-inch gap. So if you are doing that, then you need to lift up, come across 2 inches, and do that. Or you can just do a row, keep going back every 3 inches, like so. Okay? And these go in really easily. They actually penetrate nice and easy because there's only 2 on, you don't need as much force. It's not a huge amount of force anyway for those. Because you're only pushing 2 things into the ground, you don't need to be super strong. You don't need to be super strong for them either. But what I'm just trying to differentiate between the two. So you could keep going like that up your garden, and it really would not take long at all. This is the JNJ. I mean, this is probably going to take you probably up to 5 minutes to do the full length of this garden. Then you could come back down and place it in between the 2 other holes and then go again. So it's a little bit messy because you sometimes stand on the old cores. So that is how you can aerate properly of what I believe the correct distance between the tines should be. However, all is not lost, because even if you're putting a hole in the ground, it's going to help in that area. When you put a hole in the ground, the water goes down and seeps around. It seeps into surrounding soil. So it's going to seep a little bit either side of the hole. So if it seeps enough, the water from that one and that one will seep and hopefully meet in the middle. So you could probably get away with using these and just aerating like that over your lawn. And in fact, you could even space it so it's every 7 inches, like that. Now that probably take you an hour at the most to do your whole lawn. So that are the cheap ones. That is how the cheap ones perform. Perform well, but if it breaks, it's done, it's gone, that's it, game over. If you look after it, it's likely going to last you quite a while, but remember to keep sharpening if required, and remember to clean them out at the end of every night. Now, let us have a look now at the expensive ones. I'm just going to move you guys across. So, pros and cons. Well, for a start, pros. Probably last you a lifetime, because it's solid metal, it's well made, it's welded, it's protected, we've got stainless steel, and it puts the tines at the correct distance apart, in my professional opinion. The downside is it requires a modicum, just a very small amount of extra force, because you are pushing one extra piece of metal into the ground. So this is really important when it is not very sharp. When it's getting blunt, you'll be wanting to sharpen them. I'm making more out of it than what it is. What I'm trying to say is it's actually easy. Now I hit a stone there. So it takes roughly about the same sort of time as the budget ones, but in the same amount of time I have now put more holes in the ground. So in my opinion it is doing a better job of aeration, although any aeration is better than none. So there's definite pros for that. The other pro, like I say, these can be replaced whenever you take the fancy. And if you don't always want to do hollow tine aeration and leave holes in your lawn and having to clear up the cores of soil, sometimes just a quick run over with the Swordman, for example, with the solid tines, and you can just spike your lawn with that. Much the same as one of these. But the spikes are really only 1 inch, so they don't go very deep at all. And there's not a lot of weight in that. But this, you can get a good deep hole with these. So Swordmen have a track record and already have hundreds, if not thousands, of very positive reviews. So you know you're getting something that's well made and you'll have good support with it and everything else. From the comments I've already received of people, when I've talked about this in another video, people have bought this and literally do highly recommend it. This will be one of those tools, this and this, like I say, that will last and last and last. So you've got the one that's got the most positive reviews, but it's more money. And then we've got the Lanzi, a slightly lesser known brand, but very, very good. Very, very good. And considering it's about £50 cheaper than the Swordman, you may not want to go to the expense of one of those. So there we've got the differences between all four and the benefits of each. Just to recap, Walensee, quite light actually. The J&J, a little bit heavier, but really, you know, it's nothing really. It really isn't anything. I'm just talking in comparisons really. Nice and cheap and easy. At the price, really, if it does break, you could just chuck it away and buy a new one. You could probably buy 3 or 4 of these over the next 10 years. And you still wouldn't have paid, well, you might have done with the Lanzi, but you're still better off if you buy these and they last you a few years. For the price, you can't go wrong. But you do run the risk of, if it breaks, you've got to throw it away. You can't do anything else with it. But I really like both of these. This is one of the best on Amazon for the reviews. This guy needs to get his on Amazon because he will do really well with this. He really does. At the moment, you're buying through him on Facebook or you're buying through his website. Again, like I say, in summary, low cost, easier to use, easier to push in. If you take care and look after them, they will look after you. Clean them after every use. So clean them, poke any soil out, wash a bit of water through, give it a dry with a rag, store it away ready for next time, and it will serve you well. But if it breaks, you'll not be happy. Then for the premium ones, Swordman, Lanzi, more money, less money. There's a fair bit of weight in those. And these really, they're a lot lighter. They are quite a bit lighter than the premium ones. But it's not an amount where you are struggling to lift it like a barbell curl. It's more than fine enough for regular use. The point is that these are well made and high quality and already have really, really good reviews. And the fact that you can replace the tines is what makes them brilliant. So if you can afford to invest in something a bit higher priced, I would absolutely recommend either of these. This is the one that's had the leaderboard for such a long time. The Swordman. It has a really good reputation. Lanzi, I'm sure in the next few years will become equally as popular amongst lawn care enthusiasts as the Swordman, and I think they're going to have some serious competition, especially given the fact that this is a lot cheaper and it has padding. So both easily replacing of the tines. You can easily replace the tines on either of those. These should last a lifetime unless something on here breaks. These will last as long as you take care of them, but if something breaks, that's it. If you've got any questions, please put them down below. Okay? Now, I did a test a couple of days ago with these, and I did a full strip up the top of the lawn, and I think it was about 3.5 minutes. And I worked out that if I did the whole lawn with one of these, it would take me an hour without stopping. But if you allow for 2 to 3 hours, that's just one afternoon. You can, at your leisure, go and aerate your lawn. Definitely do it once or twice a year to relieve compaction. Thin out some of the subsurface thatch, because thatch is a spongy layer. You get some on the surface and it builds up like a thatched roof. And you can feel it getting spongy, and then your lawn starts to go yellow, and then it suffers, and that thatch holds moisture, and that encourages moss to creep in. I'm getting bit. So, scarifying and aerating, really, some things you ought to do on a regular basis. So scarifying removes the thatch, there's the soil, it removes the thatch above the surface. And aeration removes thatch, thins out thatch below the surface. It's called subsurface thatch. My lawn really doesn't have much of any of it, because I'm currently using a seed called a dwarf ryegrass, and it produces very little thatch, but it doesn't spread either. So if we get any thin spots, we do have to reseed, and I'm going to be doing that in spring. But yeah, just trying to find a core for you to take a look. So normally, this is what we've pulled out of one. Normally, the mildest bit of thatch there, it's literally nothing. But this is the soil surface. In some lawns I've seen it this thick, 2 inches. Now, subsurface thatch, you could be mistaken for thinking it's root, but it's mainly like organic dead material, but it builds up below the surface. By aerating, you are taking some of that out, so then everything can get through, air, rain and nutrients. So now guys, the ball is in your court. These are the aerators. These are the best of the ones that I have looked at, seen and tested. These are my most highly recommended ones at the moment. I am aware, but I can't say too much, that the one from J&J, he will be coming out with a different design at some point, but it will be a more premium type of aerator. So you would then have 2 options. You would have a budget version and you would have a premium version, and it would be something similar to the premium models. But for now, I just wanted to leave this with you and get this review out for you, because I know some of you have been asking, and at the moment it is the prime time to be doing any renovations on your lawn. Aeration, for now, is something you should be doing. In America, they have liquid aeration, which does seem to help. There are other things which you can do to reduce the need to aerate, and all to do with fungi and bacteria. But I don't think things are advanced enough to bring that to market properly yet. But I do think in the next few years, going that way, the organic route, which is what I plan on doing with this channel, is the way to go. Because we've got to think about the planet, and we've got to think about our kids' futures and our kids' life on this planet, and their kids and their kids. You want to leave something behind for your children's children's children to remember. So like I say, if you've got any questions about any of these, please pop them down below and I will answer as many of those as I can. So just to recap, We have the Walensea, really good, around 30 to 40 pounds. We've got the J&J Aerator, around 30 to 40 pounds. Both budget aerators, fixed design, work well, but if you want to aerate more holes, you'll need to go over your lawn a second time. And if they break, then they're no good. The two premium ones, if they break, you can replace the tines. So theoretically, as long as you don't break the handles or the frame, this will last you a lifetime. And with stainless steel, it's very high quality. And the design of the tines is such that the cores can be ejected out of the tines. Yeah? So it comes up, ejects out, once it hits this slope here, and is ejected out. So this will not clog. Whereas these, even though many of them do clog, these two somehow have managed to stay clog free in the main. That is why these two are included, because they have had really, really good feedback. But like with any tools, please clean them after you've finished. Poke the soil through, give it a quick wash, quick dry, and done. Well, thanks for watching. Ooh! Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and you'll see some videos up on the screen in a moment. Please take a look, because I've got all sorts of videos, and keep you happy. Have a great day.